Hi, this is Shu with a review of the Harden budget model, the second budget model for and by James Harden, the Adidas Stepback 2. The first one was okay, pretty decent budget model, and the second one is actually seems to take a lot more note from the official Harden main series, more so than the first one. This is very similar to the patterns and little colors that you see in Harden 5s. Harden 5's not out yet, so I can't really talk about it except for the exterior appearance of it. This is actually pretty good. I tried to find flaws, and it's a little bit hard to find flaws, especially when you try to rate it in terms of comparing it to other Adidas models. This is actually improved a lot of the aspects that I found as chronic flaws that continue to be repeated in Adidas models. First of all, the fit. Most Adidas models, they always have this crazy space on the forefoot area. The toe box area is like way elevated, and you feel like there's this interstellar space there, and your toes are wiggling, and you feel really insecure. But now this is very, very low, and it's a great feeling when you have this low fitting toe box that really hugs your toes. So this is good. It fits true to size, but for those who might have really thick toes or thick, I guess, higher foot that needs higher space here, then you might want to go up half a size. But other than that, true to size is fine. And the width is also pretty good. There's no chafing on the pinky like a lot of basketball shoes these days tend to have, since they cater to guys with like really wiry foot like Kevin Durant and whatnot. So the fit is wonderful. And the lockdown is also incredible, because I love the fact that they actually had the lace lock coming down all the way here. The lace loops usually end somewhere here in the middle, just so that the shoe looks cleaner and cooler, but that sucks because you need some extra option in terms of tightening or lockdown here so that you feel more secure and fastened. So for me, having the shoelace loop all the way down here, kind of like what you see in models like the Composites, this is really good. I've not seen Adidas do this for a long time. Most of the times you've seen other Adidas models where the lace loops end way early and you feel a little bit insecure here, unless you get a good tight one-to-one fit with the shoe, which is rarely the case. Speaking of the Dame 6, the Dame 6 had some of the best bounce cushioning. Dame 6 and Dame 2, I think, had the best bounce cushioning in terms of how soft and plush it is, and while it provides adequate shock absorption, and while it's soft to the touch or soft to the step. So this bounce actually feels very similar. So that is incredible. But then, of course, the outsole pattern is totally, incredibly the worst a human being could ever design for the Dame 6. But this is actually a lot better than Dame 6. But how can any shoe be worse than the Dame 6 in terms of traction? The pattern is very similar to the Harden 4s. But if you like the patterns in Harden 4s and it provided you with adequate traction, this is going to be even better, because this is a little bit more warped. It's a little bit sharper. But one thing is, it's not as deep as the Harden 4s. You might have some durability issues here. Not too bad, but the threads are kind of wide and thick, but not deep. The grooves are not deep. So outdoor, probably not. And the rubber, especially for this model at least, it's squeaky, sticky. Yeah. Oh my God, it's so sticky and squeaky. So you wear it on a clean court, it's going to be amazing, if not bad for you, if you don't like that crazy lockdown bite on your shoes. But if you like that, this is the shoe for you. But as you can tell, this can attract some dust. Thankfully, the grooves are pretty deep and nice, but still something you should be wary of. The traction is good, definitely better than unsuccessful models like in terms of traction, the Dame 6 or the Dawn Issue 1. But of course, it remains to be seen how quickly they wear off, or how they may vary depending on the material they use for the outsole rubber. But in terms of rating it among, let's say, if the world only had Adidas shoes, this is the best traction there is outside of Crazy Quicks. So yeah, gotta give it high praise. As for the bounce, it's very low to the ground. It feels a little bit firmer, and it's actually once again, it feels just as good as the Dame 2s or the Dame 6. There's probably some kind of a plate somewhere in the middle, but on the forefoot, I don't feel the hindrance like I did with the Dawn Issue 1, where you felt the plate right below your foot. Also, one thing about the shoe is that other than the bounce being very low to the ground, yet substantial, it feels substantial, the strobe board is super thick. The strobe board is super thick, so that provides some additional cushioning, added with the fact that they use a very light and fluffy, soft and thick EVA insole. This is the kind of insole that you've seen in, let's say, models like the Lillard 1s and Lillard 2s, where the insoles seem to take up about 30% of the cushioning. So already you have a substantial bounce cushioning with a very thick strobe board and a super plush and firm, plush and soft insole that you remember from the old Adidas shoe, where the insole used to take care of most of the beating in terms of the cushioning. So this is a pretty impressive model. For the fit, or rather the ankle lockdown or heel lockdown, there's really strong thick padding that is very soft, so it really hugs your foot nicely, and there are no chafing or any irritating bits that actually cut into your ankles or any part of your skin. And I love the fact that the heel counter is not just one thick slab right here where you could actually pinch into the Achilles, but rather it is a little bit broader, and it actually grabs and hugs your foot a little bit more. It covers more of your heel area, so this is really good. I like it. As the base is really wide, and you can see this midsole itself is protruding and thick like the Dawn Issue 1. So in terms of lateral stability, this is pretty incredible. As for the budget, as for the price point itself, because this is a budget model, it is a lot more affordable than most signature shoes out there. So that's another plus. If you wait around a little bit, they'll always be on discount. You will be able to get them for definitely less than $100. For size US 9, it weighs about 408 grams. That's pretty low, pretty lightweight compared to some of the Adidas models with lots of boost or bounce in them. We've had many of them go close to 500, so this is pretty lightweight relatively, and it feels light on your foot actually when you actually put them on and lace them up. So yeah, compared to the recent shoes with light strike that's been used, let's say the Dame 7 was a sore disappointment because the light strike felt hard as a rock, and the forefoot felt like there was no cushioning, and yet there was some elevation and it was not low to the ground. So this is definitely one of the better Adidas models out there. In fact, in recent months, the best one out there.